Ladies and gentlemen, up next now it's time for none other than the MD CEO, Bombay Stock Exchange, Mr. Ashish Chauhan to join us on stage. Requesting Ashish Chauhan, ladies and gentlemen, once again a huge, huge round of applause.
Respected Sri Damodaran, my colleagues on the dais, invited guests, members of ANMI and media, thank you very much for calling me today. How many are you from Mumbai? Yeah, and how many are not from Mumbai? How many of you are staying over tonight? I'm asking for a reason that all Mumbaikars should come tomorrow for a BSE bull run. And all the people who are staying over should come to BSE bull run, and people who are not staying over should stay over and come, right? So one of the reasons why I came here today for just to tell you that, boss, tomorrow we have BSE bull run. In addition to your wealth, health is important. So we do this every year just to remind you that, boss, now we have to do longer hours, right? We continue to say we need voice. But when it comes to putting our voice, we are always opposing governments, we are opposing investors' interest, and we think somebody will give us voice. I have my doubts, right? When you don't basically tell what are the larger people we are supporting, people stop basically believing in us, right? And in terms of SRO, 143 years back, BSE was set up as SRO, which it was till 1994, 95, right? Then the change happened. So SROs have been there before NSE came. 22 SROs were there in stock markets, right? And of course, around 1820 in commodities market, they were all SROs. And then they figured out that SROs don't work in India. Not that they work anywhere else, but at least they have a pretension that they work, and we are not even making those pretensions, right? So be aware and do whatever requires to be done. What is disruption, okay? When I keep on thinking, I keep on talking about it all the time. We are in the midst of what we call VUCA world. VUCA, okay? That is volatility. We do this every day, right? We know volatility inherently. Without that, our trades don't happen. So volatility, uncertainty, complexity and ambiguity. That's called VUCA world, okay? Earlier life was easy, things used to happen. And earlier I used to say that if you had more money, you could make more money. You didn't have to have brains. Somebody in your forefathers would have had brains to create some money, and then you could run with that for next 10, 15, 20 generations. Now, if you have more money, it may become very little money in no time. And similarly, if you have less money, it may become more money in no time if you have brains, right? So brain is going to be very important going forward. And be aware, many of your first generations, in fact, I don't see the first generations, the larger brokerage houses here, but they will also tell you that even in our industry, over last 25, 30 years, the people who have come about, the Nirmal Jain, you know, he was basically, he's from IIM Ahmedabad, Mrugang's batchmate, or Motilal, or I mean, if you see Rashesh, they were basically not traditional businesses, right? They got their skills from wherever, they worked in our markets, and many of them have become billionaires. Angel, Anand Rathi, and so on and so forth. See, some of them are traditional, some of them are not. But when the automation of trading came, people who did not adapt to automation stayed behind. And 25 years, some of our largest brokers of those days, 25 years back, today, are not to be seen anywhere. The smaller ones, those days, are now have become larger. But if they don't adapt to newer technologies, newer ways of doing things, newer regulations, they will stay behind. They may be better than what they are today, but still they may become irrelevant. So idea is, how do we continue to become relevant going forward? And the disruption happens in front of our eyes. It's happening and we don't recognize it. Every day it is changing and we don't recognize it. What are the 4 or 5 things that happened in our markets over the last 25 years? I mean, I am not a trader, right? I have always been on the other side. Software, NSE, BSE. I mean, I have always seen all of you from a different perspective. You are the players. Our job is to give you a good platform, like in game of cricket. Currently, if you are not watching, it's 11 runs for 3 wickets in India. We are doing very badly, so don't watch it. But I used to run cricket team also, right? And my job was to give stadium, umpires, good pitches, and all the spectators to come in and go out. Similarly, in the stock exchange role is similar, basically. It should have good facilities. Nobody should feel that they are getting cheated, move in and out easily and stuff like that, right? What happened in our industry's last 25 years? And that will tell you what will happen in the next 25 years. That automation changed the world completely, right? Floors are no longer the game. Then came algorithms. Multiple exchanges, you can do algorithms. Then came leverage. We used to have leverage in Badla, but more formal leverage came in. Then came more products. So derivatives came in, then came more products, commodities, currencies, and everything else, right? And then came co-location. Each time, the volumes went up by 10 times, pretty much. Last 25 years, the market volumes have gone up 10,000 times. How much? Not 10,000%. No other industry has grown the way stock market industry has grown. Not stock market, but market industry has grown. In last 25 years, across the world, 10,000 times, give and take few thousand. It's a huge upsurge, right? But what has happened is, against that, the margins have come down. So what we used to take 2% official, 2.5%, and then 5% Gala, has now come down to 1 basis point, right? And I think in next 5 years, if you look forward, it will become Google model. Users don't pay, right? If you don't see that was 7.5% se, we have come down to 1%, 750 basis point to 1 basis point. It is going. I mean, last year, middle of last year, I inaugurated some brokers, this thing, 999 rupee, whatever you can eat in a year. People tell me there are conditions and all, but 999 rupee benchmark ho gaya. Next week, somebody announced 499 rupees per year, whatever you can eat. It is like Gujarati thali, you know. No, when you can trade as much as you want. And it may become 199, then 99, then you say, I will pay you 99 if you trade on me. Right? Exchanges are doing it, na, lips mein. You would have figured what is happening to exchange, it will happen to you also. So be aware that it is changing in front of your eyes, and you can keep on saying, no, boss, but we need to have like barbers association ki minimum 50 rupees for haircut. We need to also have minimum brokerage. Aisa nahi hone wala hai. Because even barber also might be giving one more pen or pencil to the client, and you will end up doing all of yours much smarter than barber. So finally, there is no such unionism that can take place, right? And be aware that this is going to be the way of life. What had to be automated has been automated. But there is much more to automate going forward. The standardization of commodities, currencies, everything is happening. But you need to worry about what is going to happen to our industry, our cost, and so on and so forth. If your costs keep on increasing, your revenues keep on coming down, then somewhere on the line, you are going to have trouble. And you may not be able to understand your own business. But if you look at the way the media business is going on, media, the print, basically every time you print something, it costs. But nobody wants to actually read print now, right? And the cost is cost is going up, revenues are coming down in media. All over the world, media is going through a huge trouble. And if you do not get into other businesses, other areas, you don't create other franchises. Some of our members, I have gone to their university, they have set up universities. Some of our members have become real estate moguls. And they have gone into other areas. They are here, I think one of the members also has hotels. So they are here, especially many of the leading lights are here basically to tell you that, boss, we are in it together. बट उन्होंने अलग कर दिया अपना, उनको मालूम चल गया था पहले ही. Those were the smarter ones. People who are fighting only here, I am telling you, there is not much left. And as Mr. Vijay Kumar said, that exchange's role, what was the role? Even now, what are we teaching students? That exchanges allow savings of the economy to be channelized into productive capital. Kitna IPO kiya, boss? IPO gets you nothing, right? अपने को कोई इंटरेस्ट नहीं है वर्ल्ड में, not only here. Exchange have become places for trading for the sake of trading, right? Not for raising capital. And why I'm telling you is it has happened in front of our eyes. And if we don't realize, we won't be able to go forward. The margin squeeze is going to be there. Interestingly, we started a business called mutual fund distribution. Many of you are not participating. But now BSE has got 18,000 direct IFAs who have registered with it. December's month, you know how much equities inflow BSE got for the mutual fund industry? On net basis, 2,100 crore. How much net inflow the entire industry got, you know how much? 6,000 crore. If you take away the CPSE ETF, which was completely different, 31% of all fund business is now coming through BSE Star MF, okay? Last year, we did a business of 1.8 lakh crore. 1.8 lakh crore of mutual fund alone. And before that, this year, in 8 months, we did that. We overcame that. Now, we are doing much more than that. First 8 months were larger than last year's. And literally, the entire industry is now basically going through BSE Star MF, but it was not to be. If this framework of Star MF had come from Bangalore, then there would have been Economic Times and everywhere newspaper reports saying, because you do trading of 1.8 lakh crore, your valuation would be 10 lakh crore, right? But here, BSE's valuation is 3,500 crore, lower than the capital, the money in hand. Because all of us are able to value others, not ourselves. Beauty about all this is that this revolution has happened in front of our eyes and we are not figuring out. In that business, you get, even with all SEBI squeeze, you still get probably 100 basis point of commission on trail basis every year. Either ek paise ke liye mara mari, so much of risk we are taking, there we are getting 100 basis point without putting client money also at risk and our money also at risk, but nahi, trading hi karna hai. That is the only game we know. That game has no juice. That pond has dried up, right? Go into places where you have juice, even if you like playing cricket like me. But boss, kamana to BSE mein aake padta hai. Aapko bhi, you might like playing trade game, right? But wo game khelne ke liye paisa kidhar se aur se aana padega. If you don't understand, we'll continue to discuss this entire framework again about disruption. Ki boss disruption hone wala hai, nahi ho chuka hai. मालूम ही नहीं है पड़ा आपने को, अपना गेम खत्म, right? So why I'm telling you this is, it's going to happen. There are many people interestingly in the world who figured out कि बॉस ये सब तो बहुत मेहनत का काम है, directly पैसा बनाते हैं. And this has been happening from time immemorial. There is a entire new science which was invented called chemistry. From a framework to create gold out of nothing, you know. You have heard of Paras money, you have heard of all that. Humanity has been in search of gold because gold was money. बाकी सब मेहनत करके पैसा ही बनाने तो डायरेक्टली पैसा बना लेते हैं. तो in the modern world, people said, okay, we will do it, and they created something called Bitcoin. Everyone thought कि बस कितना आसान है, Bitcoin बना लेते हैं. And people are searching for Bitcoin and many other coins of different types. And that again, people thought that is a great disruption. But boss, if all of us make money at home, then that money has no value, right? But more importantly, the government will ensure that our money has no value because you are competing with government. In modern world, government is the only one who is actually making money. And if you start making your own money, then they will stop you. So slowly they are squeezing on all the Bitcoin and Ethereum and whatever. So many times, many brokers tell me, boss, what is your idea about Bitcoin? And I say, nahi chalega. Then they will say, but blockchain to chalega na. क्योंकि पैसा तो बहुत डाला है, वो माइनिंग में इधर उधर, ब्लॉकचेन भी नहीं चलेगा, राइट? बी अवेयर, you can try doing whatever, but it will not work due to variety of reasons. What are the trends that are happening, right? And what is going to happen, irrespective of whether we oppose or not? For example, longer trading hours. Longer trading hours क्यों नहीं चाहिए? बस दादागिरी है. Whenever I wake up, at least in equity market, तो मैं बोलूंगा वही होना है. Commodity में भले लंबा चलाओ, वो commodity भी मेरा ही है, ऐसा नहीं कि कोई दूसरे का है. But बाकी किधर भी मेरे को नहीं पूछता, इसमें तो मैं एंश्योर करूंगा कि मेरे को पूछना चाहिए. सो दैट्स व्हाई अदरवाइज इंडियन इन्वेस्टर्स आर नॉट अलाउड टू ट्रेड बिकॉज ऑल ऑफ अस डोंट वांट टू ट्रेड लॉन्गर आवर्स इन इक्विटीज ऑनलर. फॉरेन इन्वेस्टर ट्रेड इन सिंगापुर. एवरी डे मॉर्निंग वी वेक अप एंड से एसजीएक्स कितना हुआ, एसजीएक्स कितना हुआ. इंडिया का नहीं करने का है, और उसमें पैसा कितना जाता है, कुछ भी नहीं. कॉमोडिटी तो ऑलरेडी लगा दिया है बॉस, एक पैसा नहीं जाता है. कॉस्ट बेनिफिट उल्टा हो गया अभी. नहीं, बट मैं ले लूंगा वो, आई कैन हैंडल दैट कॉस्ट, बट आई नीड माई दादागिरी. इन्वेस्टर बेसिकली डोंट हैव टू हैव, नहीं, बट इफ यू रन लॉन्गर आवर्स देन देयर विल बी मोर स्पेक्युलेशन. तो बाय दिस लॉजिक यू शुडंट ट्रेड एट ऑल, देन देयर वोंट बी स्पेक्युलेशन. और ट्रेड फॉर 1 सेकंड एंड आफ्टर दैट वी कैन डू एवरी अदर वर्क. ना, इधर बैठ के क्या करते हैं, कोई प्रोडक्टिव काम नहीं करते हैं. व्हाई आई एम टेलिंग यू दिस इज, वी क्रिएट our own hypes and then we end up taking as a sort of a group कि बॉस ये बंद ही करवाना है, उसको फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला है बॉस. We are keeping ourselves behind, we are keeping India behind. What are we doing? And then we say कि नहीं हमको इंपॉर्टेंस दो. अरे भाई इंपॉर्टेंस किधर से आएगा? This is the disruption. If you want be useful, be with the trends in the world. If world is going 24-hour trading, अपने को मैंने मेरा 6 घंटे का ठीक लग रहा है, भाई 5 घंटे का क्यों नहीं, 1 घंटे का क्यों नहीं, 5-6 घंटा क्यों सही है? Everything is magic, but if technology allows you 24 hours, rest of the world is doing 24 hours, why will we do only 6 hours? नहीं, बस करना ही नहीं है. अब योगा चाहिए, कॉमोडिटी में योगा नहीं चाहिए. इंडिया इज नॉट रेडी, कॉमोडिटी में इंडिया इज नॉट रेडी. बट कहाँ जा रहे हैं बस हम लोग? दैट टाइप ऑफ आर्ग्यूमेंट्स, इट जस्ट डजंट वर्क. एंड इफ यू डोंट डू व्हाट इज करेक्ट, कस्टमर का पैसा चला गया, 5-6 brokers go belly up and we say कि नहीं नहीं बॉस, we are the best. कैसे होने वाला है? What are we doing as a group to ensure that we are all eating out of the same, drinking out of the same pond? If somebody is cheating customers, we stop it. We tell ANMI that boss इसको बंद करना चाहिए. ANMI goes to wherever, stops that guy. Then that is called self-regulation. Right? Then people will start trusting us कि बस पब्लिक का पैसा जाता है और फिर हम लोग को बोलता है कि नहीं हमको और इंपॉर्टेंस दो. कैसे होने वाला है? Right? Be aware that somewhere on the line, life is not going to be simpler. It's going to be more complex. More compliance will come. And the last part is actually positive. That despite all our problems, 143 years, we have created a wealth of $2.2 trillion, right? We have created that trust. People distrust us, but despite all the negative stuff, today Indian stock market, in equities alone, is larger than India's banking system all put together. Right? It is one of the rare occasions, one of the rare countries. And Indian society has given tremendous importance to banking, right? When a stock goes down, government doesn't come and buy it up, right? In China it happens, not in India. Bank goes down, government comes and puts in money. And despite that, the entire Indian banking system is less than $2 trillion. We are $2.2 trillion in equity alone. So good applause to all of you that not that we are excellent, the others are worse than us. Right? So at least have a solace, but from here, from 2 trillion, how will we go to 20 trillion in next 10 years? How do you create wealth? Boss, you can run on treadmill very fast and for very long. Where will you go? At the end, you will be in the same place. Trading is that game. You are running on treadmill very fast. Economy is gaining nothing. Today, first time in the world, I mean, we as India lost out from 1650 when Britishers came to 1950. 300 years. Before that, we were 18-20% of world population. If you take Pakistan, Bangladesh, Myanmar, everything with us, we were 20% of world population. We were 25% of world GDP. But they came, they subjugated us, is fine, but we did not participate in industrial revolution. From that same time, 1650 to 1950, when they went away, from 25% of world GDP, we were how much, 2% of world GDP. Last 70 years, we have worked hard to make it 3.5%. From 2% to 3.5%. But we have to go back to 25%. And first time in the world, we have an opportunity to do it. Because now, to create more capital, to create more wealth, we don't require more capital. We are a capital-starved country. America has more capital, Europe has more capital, Japan has more capital, even China has more capital. But capital se kuch nahi hone wala abhi. You require a lot of brains, lot of technology, whether artificial intelligence, from 3D printing, robotics, space, whatever you can think of. There, you put in little money, lot of brains, and you may be able to create Googles and Microsofts and stuff like that. My hypothesis is that next 50 years, the world will create around 300 to 400 trillion dollars of wealth. And India will create 25% of that. That is $100 trillion of wealth. But if India is going to create that wealth, जो investor उसमें रहेंगे ना, उसको मिलेगा. None of you are investing in Indian startups. Please learn to invest in Indian startups. Foreigners are coming and investing in Indian startups. You don't have to invest billions of dollars, but please invest in Indian startups, and when they become big, India will benefit. Otherwise, again, the foreigners will reap the rewards of all the wealth that is getting created here. BSE has started startup platform. Young businesses can come and raise funds. So some of you can become merchant bankers, some of you can become mentors, some of you are in the middle of that game, right? And you have the first look at all the young businesses that are coming in India. Look around you, be participant there. Wealth will be created by them. You can ride on that, and that is my sincere hope and request that if you do this, you will be useful to the society, you will help India create wealth, and you will create wealth for yourself in return. So thank you very much.